or it might have been 91 or 92. It was like the last time Poly might have made it into the football playoffs in a long time. So there was a lot going on behind our football team. But it was a really fun place, you know. Everyone knew how to dance, you know. The 90s music, early 90s music was a lot of fun. Hip hop was like in its, you know, it's not its infancy, but it was a really, really beautiful time. But you know, it was kind of dangerous when you got out of school, you know, when you got out of there. So when people look at like the value of schools, the environment, the actual building itself, and the safety it provides, while there might have been some fights and so on, the fights outside of school were much worse than anything that you would have experienced in the actual school itself. There was a cruising culture back then. Certainly myself and my brothers and my cousins, we were a big part of the lowrider culture. So we had lots of lowriders. You know, I still owned my 1974 Volkswagen convertible that's candy apple red paint and so on. So, you know, and hydraulics was a thing. So Trinity Park was a big thing in that time. Today, no one cruises Trinity Park. But if you were Latino in the late 80s and 90s or mid 80s and 90s, it's what you did every Sunday, is you went to Trinity Park, and my cousins and brothers, we'd have 20 cars. And it was a fun thing to just drive down East Rosedale and go to Trinity Park and set up and put up the volleyball court, and it was just what you did every Sunday. That part of Fort Worth is missing. I think it's a very sad thing that you have a city manager or city council that believes that Fort Worth is unsafe, therefore we don't want certain people in our parks. In those days, in the 80s, it didn't matter if you go to Sycamore Park because you were African American, it's where you cruised. And Sundays was Trinity Park for the Latino community. And every now and then when you know, the Latinos might go into Trinity Park, into Sycamore Park, and it was a lot of fun because there was no fighting. Occasionally there would be some, but it was a welcome culture. It's sad now that you can actually go to a park in Fort Worth that used to be an entrance, and now there's a do not enter sign because they converted everything into like one ways to eliminate cruising, which it just goes to show that like the councils and mayors of the past, for sake of one situation, you could call it one bad apple. You know, we don't close our schools when there's a fight. We don't close a church when there's a shooting. We just say we're going to move past it, we're going to grow past it. And those kind of environments, I think, are really missing. But yeah, Trinity Park was a big thing. It didn't matter if you were North Side, South Side, Poly. It's where we all came together. And, you know, it was beautiful. Yeah, it was a beautiful time.